ROH wrestler Adam Cole. This is ROH wrestler Kyle O'Reilly. And you are listening to the podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com.
You're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or check us out on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Stitcher, and iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast or WNS Podcast. Now being broadcast in over 45 different countries, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron, Tyler Abear, and Doug.
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
You need to show him that. I'm Tyler Abear.
Choo-choo, Playboy. Stop.
We welcome you to episode 303 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNS Video, and on iTunes, Wrestling News Source Podcast. I have no idea what's happening right now.
You can find us on Stitcher, Beyond Pod, and Player.fm, and Satchel. Just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
Follow the podcast on Twitter at WNS Podcast. Daniel's at WNS_Daniel. Tyler's at Tyler_Aber.
There you go. So welcome to the show. We've got a lot to talk about this week, but what's up, Tyler? What's going on?
Drinking this delicious Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper Cherry.
Cherry.
Yeah. Not too bad. Digging it?
Too good.
All right. Too sweet?
Too sweet.
Nice. So welcome to the show. Like I said, we got plenty to talk about. We've got your feedback. We're going to talk about TLC.
Yeah, I got your feedback.
Raw, Smackdown, 205 Live, Hot Topics, Q&A, all the good stuff. As we get closer and closer to Christmas, which means we're closer and closer to New Year's, which means we're closer and closer to the Royal Rumble, and I'm looking forward to it. So I know we've got pretty much all of our tickets secured.
That's what I'm looking forward to right now.
Yeah, I'm highly looking forward to it. Should be a grand old time.
Hell yeah, dog.
In San Antonio. Hopefully the weather cooperates. Hopefully the traffic is light, which I doubt it will be because there's 60,000 people traveling into the city. So, but you never know. You do what you can. So Tyler, how you doing? Aside from enjoying the cherry Dr. Pepper.
Well, it's gone.
Oh, it's already gone?
Yep.
Man, you must have been thirsty. Wow. Okay.
Give me 2 more.
Yeah. Doug, how are you?
I'm good, man.
Yeah? Hanging in there?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Man, this week it's felt very long for me. And I think I know why. Yeah. It's because I had to work Sunday. The Goo Goo Dolls came into town. Had to go and do the whole radio side of my job.
You look tired.
I am pretty tired. I'm very tired. Do I really look tired?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I've been tired. But, I mean, it paid off because I got to go backstage, meet the Goo Goo Dolls, take a picture with them, get some guitars autographed, got to give them away, and all that good stuff. So I got to do something nice for the area, and got some people looking my way, going, "Hey, hook me up with an autographed guitar." So other than that, I've just been working.
Hey, hook me up with an autographed guitar.
No. So let's dive into the feedback.
By you,
because we've got a lot to cover.
I want a guitar signed by you.
Oh, okay. Well, give me a guitar and I'll sign it.
Okay.
All right. I will happily sign it to Tyler from Daniel.
All right.
There you go. So first bit of feedback we have is from our good buddy Ryan.
Yeah. What's up,
Ryan?
Man?
He said, "Hey guys, awesome show. I miss you all a lot. To answer your guys' question, I didn't watch the Cruiserweight Classic, but I did watch 305 or 205, and I enjoyed the matches those guys put on. But the crowd was not into it, into all of it. It seemed very empty. I thought they might have recorded before SmackDown, and the crowd haven't gotten there yet, but it was live, so it was afterwards. I thought the same thing about T.J. Perkins. He looked like someone took a crap." He looks like someone took a crap in his Cheerios. P.S. I'll be attending Monday Night Raw this Monday in Austin. Can't wait. And see you guys at the Rumble.
Sweet. Yeah. Man. I miss Ryan.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Good to hear from him, though.
Mm-hmm. Because whenever one of the guys were out, Ryan would usually fill in. So, we hope you come back and visit us sometimes. And who knows, we'll put you on the mic again. But yeah, so good to see you, or good to hear from you. We're looking forward to seeing you at the Royal Rumble as well.
So he'll be there?
He will be there.
That's cool, yeah, man.
Yeah. So it's going to be
Look
awesome.
forward to seeing you.
We can hang out, go do lunch or something before the Rumble. Who knows? So next bit of feedback we have is from Rosewood. It's kind of a long one, but that's okay. Rosewood says, "Hey guys, great show. Sorry I didn't get a chance to say congratulations on 300 episodes. I just recently got a new job and have been really busy, so I'll say it now. Congratulations on 300 episodes. You guys are awesome."
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
A few weeks back, you asked who you would like to see Sin Cara get into a shoot fight with. I would say Dolph Ziggler. On the Jericho podcast, Ric Flair said that back in the day, guys like Harley Race, the Briscoe brothers, Blackjack Mulligan would often settle their locker room problems with a little fisticuffs. Rick also said that none of the guys in the current locker room today could handle that kind of backstage environment, except Dolph Ziggler. Rick also said that Ziggler would kick Conor McGregor's ass, which I doubt, but that's just me. And on numerous occasions, Rick has put Ziggler over as one tough SOB. So I think that would be an interesting fight. If I had to bet, I would still pick Sin Cara because that guy seems to throw hands and put the boots to everyone back there. I also have a question, so we'll go ahead and we'll take care of this. If you were in charge of the WWE for one day, what's the first thing that you would change? For me, I would change the PG rating back to TV-14. I would not bring back bra and panty matches or have guys bleeding all over the place, but I do feel the PG rating handcuffs them to a certain extent. Having Hell in a Cell matches with no blood or good violence really takes me out of things. What do you guys think? Thanks for the entertaining podcast, guys. Keep up the good work. Coming and Tyler, the Santa at my mall by my house gives away little bags of candy canes, a Christmas ornament, and for the first time ever, a small box of Kellogg's cereal. I think Kellogg's was a sponsor of some sort. So you're not alone in the world.
Cereal, yeah.
Santa's giving out cereal.
Yeah. You give, instead of candy cane, well, I mean, cereals are not the healthiest, but I guess, yeah, give them breakfast food.
Yeah.
I want eggs and bacon.
I could go for some pancakes.
Yep.
Santa, got something cooking over there. But yeah,
So
thank you very much, Rosewood.
I'd clip an hour from Raw.
Yeah, I think I would as well. And the way that Raw and SmackDown, they seem to have gotten out of that sort of PG setting for the most part. Like, they're not going to blade, but if there's blood, they're going to let it show as long as it's not profuse amount. But, I mean, the language has been a little more colorful in the past few weeks. So, I mean, it looks like we're kind of phasing out of the PG era for the most part.
Yeah, I'm not concerned with what... I'm not concerned with the rating or what rating they're trying to stay between. In all honesty, I'm not even exactly sure what they can and can't get away with a PG rating, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I know some things that would clearly be beyond that, but as far as like throwing a B or throwing whatever, I think that you can do that and still be rated within PG. So to me, it's not about the rating, and I'm more concerned with the volume of product and how overexposed a lot of these guys are, and I think clipping an hour of Raw would help some of these guys out.
Yeah, just because an hour is so long, like that third hour is just, it drags on so much. I still don't feel like they found their footing with that third hour, because they could do so much with the time that they're given, and yet they just waste it on so many like unimportant little things. I feel like they could have some really good standout matches, and they just don't. They're like, no, let's start the Raw with a 15-minute talking promo. Then we'll have another talking promo, the match, after the first match, and then it's like, no, dude, just have like a few matches, then do a story, and then switch it up a little bit at least. But yeah, I agree. Go to bring it back down to 2 hours, just because it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with every week. How about you, Tyler?
No, I agree. I don't know if there's anything else I would change or bring back from the Attitude Era or anything like that. But
I mean, it's not really their call at this point. I think they are handcuffed by what USA wants from them to keep the type of royalty deal, the television deal that they have. They have to satisfy USA, and if USA says you're our highest rated show or one of them, and we want 3 hours from you
There's not a whole lot you can do.
There's nothing they can do. They have to satisfy them to keep the money coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So,
as long as that money's coming in.
But I think it's short-sightedness. I think it's saying we will appease what we can now to keep the money now, and I think a better, like, more forward-looking approach would be beneficial to our product in general to condense down to 2 hours, and maybe if you can present that to USA in a manner that would make sense to them, you know, that it would be beneficial for your show and therefore beneficial to their network in the long run.
Yeah.
If you could find a way to go about letting them know that in a way that makes sense to them.
What they should do is they should hold a meeting with the USA Network execs, and they say, "Hey guys, don't worry. It's just going to be a quick little 2-hour presentation. It'll be no problem whatsoever. Once you get to the end of that second hour, we're like, all right, guys, well, we appreciate your time, but we would like to talk about this," and just go on for a whole another hour. Like, make them think like it's over, and then give them one more hour, so they're like, oh my God, wrap this up. And then at the very end, you'd be like, exactly. That's exactly how we feel. Bring it back down to 2 hours, and we can all go home and drink a Coors Light. Anyways, yeah, just 3 hours a lot.
Yeah, it's hard to write 3 hours, like a different 3 hours every week. That's that's difficult for anyone.
I mean, Saturday Night Live, which we'll talk about as well. Well, I mean, might as well since I brought it up. John Cena is going to be hosting Saturday Night Live. That's an 1.5 hour long show, and it's it's sketches and all that, but they have to come up with new material every single week. Well, the thing is, Saturday Night Live, they have seasons, they have off time, they have downtime, so
they also have a week to write a show, and WWE is writing a show Monday night. They're writing a show Tuesday night.
Yeah.
That's 2 shows a week.
Then they've got 205,
right.
Then they got NXT, and so they're having to come up with all of this material. And if you look at Saturday Night Live, they have a couple good episodes every once in a while, and then it's kind of like, oh, that one wasn't as good, but and then you have Raw that runs 52 weeks a year, every week, 3 hours of material.
Clockwork.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, you can do so much with storyline and say, okay, here's start, here's finish. Now, how do we get to it? That's the tricky part.
I mean, we do, and I'm not saying that as a consumer or as a fan, you need to just be happy with whatever they give you. I'm not saying that at all. You're free and welcome to criticize the product, but what I don't think that we do enough of is like step back and say, it is fucking hard to write that much television every fucking week.
Yeah. It's a challenge.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
I say that, but then on the other hand, I just feel like, it's not rocket science. You don't have to overdo it.
You just have like 1 or 2 extra matches, just a match just to have it, and from there it builds a storyline.
You're not like reinventing the wheel. You're just telling stories about people fighting.
Exactly. Like, hey, you bumped into me at catering. Let's go. I don't like the way you looked at me. I don't like the way you looked at Lana. Yeah. So, yeah. But let's talk about TLC, because that happened on Sunday night. Unfortunately, I didn't get to catch it. I caught a couple of the matches, dude. Yeah, so they kicked things off with Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton going up against Slater and Rhino.
Who do we pick on this?
I think we picked Orton and Wyatt.
That's what I thought. I wasn't for sure.
I'm pretty sure. I have to go back. I have to go back and listen to last week's show and update the predictions. But I think we were pretty similar on all but maybe 1 or 2 of our picks. But yeah, so Wyatt and Orton end up defeating Slater and Rhino. It was kind of a short matchup. I was kind of surprised because he's like, okay, they're wanting to do like a 3-hour thing, and here we are, 12 minutes in, and first match is already over.
Well, I think that 3-hour window or whatever is sort of
going out the window.
Well, not necessarily going out the window. It's just we have 3 hours if we need it, and if we get done in shorter, then we get done shorter. Like,
yeah,
I think they're comfortable not doing 3-hour shows if they don't have a 3-hour show now.
Yeah. Tyler, what did you think of the matchup?
I'm trying to remember the stuff that's coming to my mind. Not too much, really. I know I felt like I wanted the Wyatts to win. Because I know how far Rhino and Heath Slater could go with it.
Yeah. I did like the spot where Wyatt got into the little spider crawl, which distracted,
It threw him through.
and then Orton slid in and did the RKO for the win. That was a nice little touch. Yeah. Any thoughts on it, Doug?
It was pretty short. It was a little. I thought it was laid out a little weird and a little disjointed. I think it was time for Slater and Rhino to give it up. I mean, there's only so much you can do with those guys as champs.
Yeah.
The story was the chase for those guys, not the reign. So, I did think it was interesting that. Well, was it who took the pin on the pay-per-view? Because I know Rhino took the pin on SmackDown, which I thought was odd. But who took the pin? Did Slater take the pin on the pay-per-view? I can't recall.
I can't remember either.
I don't know.
Well, Rhino took the pin on SmackDown, which I thought was interesting on the rematch. But it was time for these guys. I didn't like a lot. I didn't like any of the whole Orton and Wyatt. Like, getting to this point, I thought was really weird and really just not my bag. Like, I didn't enjoy how we got here. But now that Orton is with them, I'm sort of coming around to him as part of the Wyatts. I sort of enjoy it.
I still have that feeling that he's gonna. His goal was to get in there to break them up.
Well, I think that's a possibility still, but I think there is a couple of different directions they can go. They can do that thing, or they can do they're playing up the Luke Harper's like distrust of him and Orton distrust each other, and that's an avenue they could go. Like,
Harper's like, I'm out of here.
Well, Harper could turn face, or like could just leave on his own. And you can also do the Orton thing was just here all along to, sabotage the Wyatts that Tyler's talking about. But for whatever reason, I don't really even know how to put into words or describe why I like it, but I just like Orton with them. I don't know why.
It just still looks so out of place. Maybe it's just the beard.
I feel like it's a good place for him because I think by himself for a while he wasn't just really interesting. It's not like the super best thing, but hey, it's something for him, and I'm content with it.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be like if you threw, and this is a horrible comparison, but it'd be like if you threw like Tyler Breeze into the New Day. Like he's just, I'm here now. Like that's that's not to say that it wouldn't work. They couldn't make it work, but for me, it would just feel so out of place.
I think.
Because I don't know, maybe it's the appearance of the Wyatt family, because they're like that grungy bearded look, and then you kind of have Orton, he's not necessarily clean shaven, but he's well trimmed.
Greek god.
He's Greek god. But he looks well put together. Like you can see him in a suit, but not necessarily Bray Wyatt. It's just one of those things where it's like different audience, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, they've reeled back from the grunginess of like Wyatt though. He's got like this like dude like white boy dreads and like like a metal or a punk jacket with like patches and shit on it. It's a lot less like I'm some weirdo from the fucking bayou, and it's a lot more I might have used to be in a new metal band. I don't know.
All right. But anyways, we do have...
mean, not exactly, but you know what I'm saying.
Sure. 19 and mad at my dad, all that. But yeah, so they become the new tag team champions, and takes us into the next matchup. Nikki Bella going up against Carmella, no disqualification match. I get why they only used like a kendo stick and the fire extinguisher, because obviously TLC, all of those other elements are going to be used. I did not like this matchup. I didn't like the match.
I thought Nikki had some cool looking spots in it. The kick off of the what do you call it? Barricade.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. She was really aggressive and really like snug with Carmella. Here's the thing, Carmella's just not that good.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know what to say other than Carmella's not that good. Not that this was the greatest performance of Nikki's career, but I thought Nikki looked fine in this match, and Carmella really it's hard to have a good match with Carmella. I don't know what else to say about it, but I think we're done here, so I don't know.
The thing that bugged me about the match was that they would use the weapon and then hold it up to the crowd, like to get a reaction. Then they would use the weapon and hold it in the crowd, try to get another reaction. I'm like, dude, you're doing it way too many times. And then Carmella would get the weapon, she'd use it and be like, oh yeah, what now? Now I'm doing it. Whack. Oh, what do you think of that? Oh yeah. Wham. Oh, what now? And so I was like, dude, just stop. It was just too much usage. And then the fire extinguisher, she got cold, and that put her into the finishing maneuver. I felt like it was rushed.
Well, I think that the announcing team got over the fact that when you get sprayed with that shit, it sucks the oxygen out and you're
can't breathe.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was fine. I didn't have a problem with the extinguisher spot.
Yeah, I just thought it was
she was way too blatantly spraying her legs though instead of the rest of her body. I didn't know if that was she didn't want all that shit in her face or or what the deal was.
They didn't want to give her frostbite in her face or something. But.
Do they gimmick those things or what? They have to, right?
I would think so.
I can't see how they wouldn't be able to. They wouldn't gimmick the things.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
I mean, I don't know if that's actually the real stuff coming out or not, or just smoke or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but. Nikki ends up getting the victory, which takes us into the ladder match for the Intercontinental title. Miz going up against Dolph Ziggler, and I thought these guys had a good showing. I kind of chuckled a bit at the end with what Miz would be willing to do in order to win the match. But what did you guys think? Tyler, we'll start with you.
I thought this. I'm blank on certain stuff right now. The parts I remember, it was pretty good. Is it? They did a lot of near falls on stuff like that. No, what am I thinking of?
It was a ladder match, so not really many near falls. I mean, they had, they were climbing the ladders. They were really working the legs mostly.
Dude, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Doug, what do you think?
It was a unique ladder match for sure because it wasn't typical in the sense that they did a bunch of high spots and crazy shit. It was pretty methodical and pretty based around limb work. And when they used the ladder, it wasn't we're gonna fucking jump 20 feet into the crowd or anything stupid. It's we're using it to accentuate the leg or something like that. And they took some bumps on ladders and stuff, but it was definitely not the traditional ladder match in the sense that it was a lot of car crash shit, and more like psychology around the ladder itself. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it started off slow but ramped up.
Yeah.
And what I think the highest this seems like a backhanded compliment, but I mean it as honestly as a compliment. I think one of the highest compliments you can pay. And I don't know if it was all camera work or not or whatnot, if they've gotten smarter with the way they shoot the angles, but for the first time in a long time, I honestly felt like I couldn't see one spot where I was just he's just fucking on that ladder stalling, waiting for someone to cut.
Oh yeah.
It didn't. They really did a good job of pacing themselves to where they either got there to where it wasn't he was just hanging out waiting,
taking 30 seconds to climb one rung,
or they just worked it into a way where I don't know if it was the camera shots or the participants saying we're not going to do the stupid thing where I have to hang out for fucking an ungodly amount of time where everyone's oh God, just knock him off already. Yeah. I don't know if that was an active decision on their part or the way they shot it where you couldn't see the guy coming out of nowhere. But I mean this as a genuine compliment and not as a backhanded compliment. I think that's important because that suspension of disbelief, that takes a lot of people out of ladder matches.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's probably the best compliment I could pay them because they didn't do a lot of this is your typical ladder match where they did a bunch of crazy shit. Right. It was more it
was psychological. Yeah. It was a physical match, not necessarily a spot match.
Right.
And I agree with you. It was well done. They told a fine story, working the legs of each other. And even the putting Ziggler in the figure four. Oh, he can't. Even if he taps out, it's not gonna solve anything. He can leave him in there as long as he wants.
Right.
So yeah, they did a fine job.
How does this rank with all their matches?
Oh, it's definitely not their best match, but it was unique enough as a ladder match that I would say it's still pretty good. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think
these two guys have had really good chemistry with one another.
Yeah, I think they're friends, so they probably put a lot of they probably talked a lot of shit out with what they wanted to accomplish.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could probably tell, but I think the previous pay-per-view match was better, just in terms of just all around. And then I even like the Smackdown match, I think, better than this one, which is not. It sounds like I'm saying this match is like shit, but I just think those other two matches were actually a lot more superior.
Sure.
It's not denigration.
You're not trying to,
match.
you're not trying to lessen this match. Yeah. This match was fine, but the other matches were just a little bit better.
I think so. I mean, do you feel the same or you feel differently?
Yeah, I mean, it was a fine match, and like I said, they told a good story, so I don't have any complaints from it. But yeah, it wasn't their best match with one another, but it was still a fine, it was still a good match. One of the things that I do love about The Miz right now is that he is a full blown heel. Like, there are the smart fans or whatever you want to call them who cheer him or whatever. But the majority of the crowd will boo the hell out of him. I mean, you've got guys like Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, who's supposed to be a heel. They're getting cheered, and now you've got, like, aside from like Baron Corbin and The Miz, these guys are, full blown heels who are actually getting the response that they're supposed to.
Right.
So, I mean, you got to give credit to Miz. Like, this has been his year he really turned things around.
People really don't like The Miz. Like, he's not cool heel. He's not cool heel. He's heel. You know what I mean?
And, but I will say this. I laughed pretty hard on Smackdown whenever he called Dean Ambrose out and gave him the participation award.
That was cool.
That was hilarious. Because it had the blue ribbon that said you tried and had the picture. Oh, my God. Like, that was great.
Yeah, I thought it was good, too.
That was great heel work from Miz. And the crowd, they turned for it and chanted, "You deserve it," and all that. And so I did get a good laugh out of that. After that, we got to see Baron Corbin going up against Kalisto in a chairs match. And I didn't get to catch the matches from here on out.
Dude, you should watch this fucking chair match. This is the best chair match I've ever seen, which is it's hard to have a good chairs match because it's an awkward stipulation.
It really is.
This was so fucking fun. It is not all good matches are fun, and not all fun matches are good, if that makes any sense to you. But this accomplished both. Kalisto and Corbin have excellent chemistry. This is not the first time they've squared off, but this match was excellent. And Kalisto's so fucking good at working with the big guys because not only has he had excellent matches with Corbin, if you go back to right before Ryback left and Ryback had those couple of matches, those were really fucking good too. I think Kalisto is a lot better worker than he gets credit for. He is probably one of the better workers in the company right now. The sad thing is that this was meant to get Corbin over, and he's probably going to... I almost said he's going to move on to something else, even though off the top of my head, I couldn't think of what they would move Corbin on to, because your top two champs are heels, so it's not like you're positioning for a title.
Yeah.
But the sad thing is I think Kalisto is so excellent in this, and he's probably going to be the one who's most lost of the two, you know what I mean?
Well, maybe he'll go down to 205 Live.
That would be probably good for him.
Corbin.
Yeah.
More.
But I don't want to slight Corbin. Corbin was really good in this as well. Just the way he threw Kalisto around, the way he it's hard for, I didn't know if he was going to be a good base, and he's a pretty good base. And I don't know, man. I think that this match is you said that you didn't get to see this. This is for sure
This will be the match to see.
Go back and watch it. It's probably my favorite match of the it is my favorite match of the show.
Yeah.
I swear I'm blanking on a lot of stuff. I don't know.
Stop blanking.
I don't know what the hell happened to my mind.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Work's been so crazy. I've been so lost in my days lately. I've been thinking today was Friday for the past 3 or 4 days.
To the pay-per-view, but man.
But yeah, so Baron Corbin ends up defeating Kalisto, which takes us into the next match, Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch. And I want to say that we picked Becky Lynch to win this one.
We did.
But, things didn't go our way. Alexa Bliss gets the win. How did the match go?
It wasn't that great.
Yeah. It was a tables match.
I don't think it was actively bad, but it was fine.
And I don't remember stuff being into it that much.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think we did pick Becky Lynch, but I knew that I didn't. If not now, eventually that I wanted
Alexa
to get the title. So
Yeah, I wasn't. I thought that the direction that we were going was an eventual Becky Nikki about Mania time. But like I said last week, if you listened last week, I said I wouldn't be surprised if they put it on Alexa just to mix things up, which they did.
Yeah.
And so I don't have a problem with it. I think her character work is strong. I mean, I'm sort of repeating the things I said about her last week, but she's young and she will get better in the ring. She's already okay, but it's her character work that they're really pleased with, and that's where she excels, and that's why she got the title.
Cool. Then we got to see the final matchup, AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose in a TLC match for the WWE World Championship.
AJ Styles took in a couple of weeks. AJ Styles has taken like stupid bump after stupid bump, and he took. You can put a little if you're like hash marking out the stupid bumps that AJ takes week by week when he doesn't really. Maybe he needed to take. This is a TLC match, so maybe he did need to take a stupid bump or two. But like if you put that in the context of he took stupid bumps for Ellsworth and that match that he didn't need to take, it seems more crazy. But you said you didn't see this, but they set up 2 rows of 3 chairs, like it's gonna be like a bed of chairs. You know what I mean? And Ambrose picks him up like he's gonna front like sit out suplex him to where I pick him up like vertical, but I'm gonna drop him on his belly on that. Yeah. But instead of dropping him flat, he pulls him and flips him to where it's like I'm gonna do it, but no, then I just flip you in the fucking air, and AJ cuts a flip and misses. Half of his body goes off the edge of like the last chairs. Go back. Stupid bump.
Very
stupid bump.
Why is he so stupid?
I mean, look, I'm not saying it's not cool. It's cool, but it's stupid. It's stupid to risk, but it's. I mean, the end result is obviously I'm going to give him props for it.
And I did see a quick little video clip of him doing like the 450 off the like springboard off the rope, 450, crash through the table, and like face plant.
Yeah.
Like the hell.
We gotta get ratings.
He took a stupid bump in that Ellsworth match. He took a stupid bump in the Survivor Series match. The bump he took when Braun chunked him over, that was stupid. He took the stupid one where he took the bump from the ladder over the top to the outside in the Ellsworth match. He took these two. He took the chair bump from Ambrose and that. He's taken at least one batshit bump in every match in the past like 3 weeks. It's been ridiculous.
Tone it down just a little bit. I mean, you're already injured now.
Yeah, AJ did suffer a slight injury. The trainers noted that it was not a severe injury. And
so
he should be back to normal.
The boot wasn't at work.
No,
okay.
that was legit. But he only has to wear it for like a week or two. So,
okay. So what is like a sprain or something?
I don't know. It might have just been a stinger, something like that. And it's like, well, let's as a precaution put you in it.
Because I was convinced Ellsworth was winning the fucking title on SmackDown.
Maybe next week.
And then it didn't happen.
Yeah, it's so sad. Yeah, like Ellsworth said, you're ducking me.
I even messaged y'all. I was like, y'all ready to see Ellsworth win the fucking title?
Yeah, I was ready.
It was in Houston. We could have driven down there, but no, it wasn't. Was not to be. But yeah, speaking of Ellsworth, what did you guys think about what he did to get involved in the match?
Yeah, I knew it was coming sooner or later. I didn't know that this was for sure the time it was going to happen because it feels like
too quick.
There are a couple of things you can do with Ellsworth, and that's one of them, and you feel like you burn out like what he's useful for. You know what I mean? But I get some people were like, why did he come out and attack him first? Well, it's not that he didn't turn heel per se. He did a dickhead move. Yeah. But he's not a bad guy. He's a delusional guy. He thinks that he can beat AJ Styles, and he thinks this was strategy.
Yeah.
He thinks like I got
his number.
Yeah, I beat him 3 times.
Yeah, watch it on Talking Smack.
I saw the clips.
Yeah.
That they showed Daniel Bryan all pissed off. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
I've got his number. He can't beat me.
Yeah.
I think.
Are you worried about Dean Ambrose? No, I'm not worried about him.
He would have done the same thing to me.
I mean, but if you want to honestly look at Ambrose's character work up to this point, he hasn't been a total bad guy to him, but he's He's kind of been a dick to him.
Miz was right.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Go ahead, Tyler.
Miz was right when he had him on the show. He was saying, "Hey, man, you were using him. You were, smart aleck to him. Blah blah blah." But he was telling the truth. So,
he was using him to fuck with AJ.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Miz speaks the truth.
Very much the truth.
But overall thoughts on the matchup?
It was good. It was good. Yeah. A lot of crazy shit here.
Love AJ.
A lot of AJ. Like
AJ.
A lot of people talking about the fucking hole in his ass of his tights.
Yeah.
He had
a blowout.
Yeah, he had like a hole, but you could see he was like cut in it too. So I don't know what he fell on, but people for a little bit I was like, all right, guys, it's a fucking hole in the butt of the man's tights. Everyone's seen a butt before. It's fine. Like there was such a reaction.
Butts.
There was such a reaction for that fucking hole in his pants that it was taken away for the match for a minute. Like the crowd got so distracted by it. It's like it's a fucking hole. You've seen a man's butt before. It's fine.
Did you guys see the picture that Rusev posted earlier this week? He was like to one up AJ. He was traveling or something. And he split his pants, and it was like a long split in his jeans. So he had someone like take a picture of it and posted it to Twitter.
I did like and this sort of like transitions into SmackDown, but which I think we should talk about since we're
sure.
But I mean, I think we should talk about back to back because
that's fine.
But when he came out to start off the show,
yes, the picture.
He's like,
let's all talk about this.
And he's acting like he's going to talk about the elephant in the room, which is Ellsworth, and he puts up the picture of like his fucking ass hanging out, which I thought was pretty funny.
Oh, you thought it was going to be about this thing? This little boot that I'm wearing?
Booty.
That's right. But, yeah, that was pretty funny. I did get a chuckle out of that. Yeah, so Ellsworth comes out and basically says, you're ducking me, boy. You can't hang with me.
I like his, his progression of, I'm just happy to be here, to, like, his delusional, like... His confidence is growing. He's like, you're fucking ducking me, son.
You're a coward. How dare you? I was trying to find that picture of Rusev, but I can't seem to find it. That's all right.
I bet it's on his Twitter.
Well, I looked at it on Twitter, it wasn't there. So maybe it wasn't Rusev at all. I don't know. But
whose butt you looking at?
I don't know. That's a good question. But anyways, so yeah, Ambrose comes out, delivers the dirty deeds to Ellsworth. Just wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. Let's see. We got to see the rematch between Rhino and Slater going up against Orton and Wyatt. Any thoughts?
Nah, I mean, the only interesting thing here that I thought that Rhino took the pin, so I assume these guys are done as a team. Would that be your guess as well?
Yeah.
Tyler?
Oh, here it is. It was on his Instagram. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. He needs a new pair of pants.
Yeah, he does. I don't think they'll be able to fix that.
Yeah, I think they're done. I don't know what else they're,
What do you do with Slater?
Team him up with somebody, because he hasn't been on a tag team in a while.
He's going to be floating around. What you do with him, though?
I'm just saying, what do you think they're going to do with him?
He's just going to be somewhere for a comedy skit.
Do you think they can elevate him, or do you think he could be taken seriously at the Intercontinental level, like with, say, against a Miz after this? Does this lend him enough credibility as a tag champ?
No, he's still goofy.
Yeah, but not to the level that he used to be. I think they have rubbed some credibility off on him.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
I'm not saying he'll take the title. I'm just saying, like,
right.
I could see, like, a short feud to pass some time.
Yeah, he'd have to get a few wins under his belt in singles competition first before... I mean, I could see it happening.
I mean, clearly the direction is Ambrose because we saw them set that up.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I don't know what else you could do with him.
Who would you feud him with? He feuds against Rhino. Shocker. So...
I mean, I guess they could do the blaming each other for the loss thing, but...
Yeah. One thing we didn't talk about after the Nikki Bella and Carmella match was Carmella saying, hey, I'm not the one who attacked you, Nikki Bella. That was Natalya. And so Carmella and Natalya were set to have a match. Match did not take place because a brawl broke out, and then Natalya chased Carmella out.
I think it's red herring. I don't think it was Natalya.
Yeah. it was Paige or Tamina Snuka.
I don't think it's Paige or Tamina.
It's Eva Marie.
I think that's more likely than Paige or Tamina, but I don't think it's Eva either. I don't necessarily know who I think it is. I just think this was.
It's Brie Bella.
It's definitely not Brie.
She's having pregnant rage, hormonal rage. I don't know.
I'm not for sure. I'm just saying the way they set this up makes it feel like it's false that it's Natalia.
It could be anybody.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it could be anybody.
Wow. Let's see, where was I? Oh, yeah. Then as Carmella was chased backstage by Natalia kind of looked at Nikki, who was backstage, and they had this awkward stare down where she's like, I think
they're playing off the Divas friendship, Total Divas friendship.
But it was so awkwardly done.
She walked away.
And then she walked away. And she's like, oh, I was about to say it. Hype Bros went up against the Ascension. Short match, poor Ascension. They lose again. Hype Bros get the win. So it looks like they're probably going to be challenging for the titles.
Do you really feel bad for the Ascension?
I feel bad that they were so over in NXT and then...
Different audience.
Yep.
You
That's exactly
what
right.
You said, though. I don't know who said it. There has to be...
I mean, there's got to be a loser. But still. Like
I don't feel bad for them. I think you got to have enhancement teams. I think that the gimmick doesn't match the gimmick that an enhancement team should have.
Mm-hmm.
But they sort of made fun of the gimmick from Jump Street. Like they sort of poked fun at it from the first match they had.
Yeah,
that sucked.
I think that's what the issue was because like in NXT they were taken seriously, and then they immediately come up to the main roster and they're treated as a joke.
Yeah, I was a little bit like peeved at that at the time, but in retrospect, these guys aren't good enough to make that work.
Yeah. That's fair. After that, we got to see Miss TV with Dean Ambrose. That's where we got to see the participation award, which I thought was hilarious. I hope they get to use that every once in a while.
They shouldn't overuse it. They should be like every once in a while.
But like whenever he gets a win, he picks it up and places it on their chest or something. Like later, got to see another matchup between Baron Corbin and Kalisto. I don't remember too much about this match.
It was fun, but it was much shorter, and they had much less to work with.
Yeah. Chairs were not allowed.
Yeah.
Chad Gable in singles competition going up against Tyler Breeze.
This is sort of weird.
Yeah.
It was very short. It was like, I don't know, sub 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Probably like a 4-minute match or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to get a lot accomplished in 4 minutes. I'm not really sure why they went the singles route.
What I really hate is whenever they start a match, go to commercial, come back, and finish the match. It's like, okay, we got to see about 4 minutes of that match, but it was, an 8-minute match that we did not get to see. And that's one of the reasons why I'm like, there's too many promos going on.
I didn't watch it live, so I didn't get the built-in commercial.
Yeah. We got to see Alexa Bliss's championship celebration get interrupted by Becky Lynch. So it looks like we're going to have the rematch one day. Not today, but that's okay. See what I did there? Then we got to see the main event, Miz going up against Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental title. And, boy, James Ellsworth just can't stay away.
Nope.
Got himself involved in the matchup again and ended up costing Dean Ambrose the title. So, well done for Miz. Sorry, Dean Ambrose. Are we going to see Dean Ambrose versus James Ellsworth at Royal Rumble?
No, I think what I thought was going to happen was that when the AJ did that, I thought it was work that he couldn't have the match. Yeah. And I was like, okay.
Because he was even pulled from like live events as well.
Yeah, I could have saw like Ding, the Undertaker's like, hey, quit ducking this kid. Like, I have your match with this kid. And like Taker helps him win the belt or something crazy. And then you get AJ Taker, which I really intrigued. I know people are like, I don't care about the Undertaker anymore. He's old. He can back it up. This match in particular, AJ's been so excellent with everyone he's faced this year. Mm-hmm. I'm really intrigued to see what he could produce with the Undertaker.
Think of the spots he'll be able to do.
Undertaker's back, so
that's what I'm saying. That's why I brought it up. I wouldn't even brought it up if he hadn't already been like, hey, I'm back, even though I haven't been seen.
I haven't been seen since.
I'm back on the show.
I'm back to give pep talks every once in a while.
Talk.
And see,
good job.
It clearly worked. So I'm going to give a pep talk before Royal Rumble. One of you guys is going to win. And boom, there we go. Oh, by the way, that person's me.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Dodge a ball.
I'm really up for AJ Undertaker, and I hope we get at the Rumble because I'd be really stoked for that.
So, I get to see the Undertaker, Lesnar, and Goldberg all during one pay-per-view event. And AJ Styles. We're going to see all of them. Goldberg. Mm-hmm. So, let's talk about Raw.
Let's do it.
That's right. We had, this thing was very Owens and Jericho heavy, and Enzo, Lana, and Rusev heavy. And this is going back to the stories that we've been saying where Rusev is technically the bad guy, but he's doing the good guy thing, defending his wife's honor, even though he's kind of being a dick about it. Enzo, the good guy, hitting on a married lady, going to her hotel room, and getting his just desserts.
Yeah, this whole thing is weird and bad. It's just kind of bad and kind of weird. I don't want it to come off like it's purely like Rusev like defending his wife's honor, because he's sort of controlling. So it's like this weird. It's like this weird thing. There are no like white hats in like this scenario. There's no like pure good guy in this scenario.
Yeah,
it's just two dudes that are kind of doing the wrong thing.
It's like, okay, like, I'm controlling my woman. I tell her what she can do, and she can't do this. And then you have on the other side where it's like, hey, man, I'm going to try to get with a married woman, so.
You're a dick, I'm a dick, but I'm married to her, so, you can't be that. Don't be that dick.
You know what?
I mean,
see this hair right here? The leopard prints, put up in a ponytail right here? Because I'm a good listener. How are you doing?
I did like how it took the announce team and Big Cass like 10 minutes longer than everyone else to be like, Rusev at the hotel room.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I love how he's like, does anybody got a phone so he can call Enzo?
Yeah.
And I was like, you know his number? Like, I don't know anyone's phone number.
Really?
No one's number.
Like, I don't know you guys' numbers, but I do remember numbers.
I don't remember if my phone lost all my contacts and I needed to call somebody, I'd be fucked. I couldn't call one single person.
Well, that's why you go to Facebook and you just message them.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, but that's why he like used his phone. And this is like, this isn't even me nitpicking. I'm just saying, personally, I could not have called someone from someone else's phone.
It's like, oh wait, what was his number? Dang it! That would be the logical option, but it had to work for the story.
I'm not even using it as a criticism. I'm just saying,
it's just a little nitpick. That's
I'm not even nitpicking. I'm just saying, had I been in the situation, I'd be fucked because I would have never done it.
Well, I'll nitpick a little bit. Who played Rusev's music? Like, when did they know when to play it? Because obviously Rusev would normally walk up to the gorilla position. I'm ready to go. Hit my music. Walk through the curtain. Good to go. So he wasn't there. And they just say, oh, he's on his... Did someone say, hey, he's on his way, go ahead and play it? Did he pay the guy off to play it? How did that happen?
The audio engineer knows that he's the next person to come out, so he just queued it up.
Sure. That could be one.
He's got the format sheet.
Does he?
Yep.
Does he? Because I know I've watched a fair number of Monday Night Raws, and they kind of just make matches on the fly. So,
I mean, he's watching with everyone else. He knows what the match is.
He knows what's going on. It's all right.
Yep.
So, anyways, man, this Owens and Jericho trying to get back together and get away from me thing.
Do you think it's done?
I don't know.
That's weird, man.
Yeah.
Do you feel like they should break it up right now?
I don't know. I thought it still had legs. I mean, their chemistry is so good together. I don't know.
It's hard to keep them from getting cheered, though. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's what they were. Although it would be odd to be concerned with the type of reaction those guys are getting when you have people on the other show getting the opposite of intended reaction.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they would pick those guys to focus on.
Yeah. But it's just one of those things where it's like they had such good chemistry together and they're doing everything so well. But now I'm feeling like they're trying to do for Owens and Jericho what they did between R-Truth and Goldust when they were trying to form the whole Golden Truth thing, where one was trying to approach the other and the other was just not having it. Then all of a sudden there was a switch where, like right now Jericho is pushing Owens away, and in like 3 weeks Jericho is going to be chasing after Owens and Owens isn't going to be having it.
Yeah, but I don't think it's really the same, because really the only thing that's happened is they've hinted all along that there was like a side to them that thought that was in it just to benefit themselves. Mm-hmm. And then when it blew up, it was Owens that said, I don't fucking need you. And then Jericho's like, okay, if you don't need me, then leave me the fuck alone. So it's not really the back and forth thing that happened with them.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you're saying that could be a thing that happens, but it hasn't. So I'm not going to criticize it for that yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just because like Owens was like, oh, I got you all these gifts. Like, he's going out there saying, oh, I don't need you. Let's go our separate ways. And then later that night, he's like, well, we're still best friends. Friends fight. That's what we do. And then this week,
the idea was that he needed Jericho to win those matches because Jericho interfered. Mm-hmm. When Jericho wasn't there to interfere,
he lost.
He lost, and so he's in his own head. Like, can he actually do it without them? So he thinks he needs them now, or wants them around at least. So it's not that he's like, oh, I realized I was a dick. He was like, maybe I do need this guy to win. And maybe So it's not like a. To me, it makes sense to waffle back on that point if you, after the loss. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. And because of that, the gifts for Jericho, we got to see Rollins going up against the returning Big Show. And Big Show has slimmed down quite a bit. He's under 400 pounds now. So congratulations to him, because he was once billed as like over 500. So for him to get down to that.
Was he ever really over 500 though? I think that a lot of that's a worked weight.
I think he said that at one point in his career he was over 500 pounds.
When he was younger, he was a lot he was a thick man, so like I could see that when he was younger, but I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of that is, I think, how they work the heights too, like they sometimes work the weights.
But the match ends in a count out because Kevin Owens comes out and is like, hey, beat him up, do all this dirty work for me. And Big Show's like, nah, I ain't having it.
Yep, not having this.
Yeah. Choke slam. Here you go, Rollins.
I forgot that Big Show was on Raw because I don't think he's been out since the brand split.
No, yeah, he's been gone this whole time. And my God, did you see the whelps on Rollins' chest from those chest slaps?
I don't think so.
Oh, his chest was so red. It was ridiculous.
Hamburger.
But yeah, after that we got to see one of my favorite cruiserweights, Jack Gallagher, going up against Daivari. And I got to say, I was kind of disappointed in this matchup.
He basically had the same match he had from 205 the week before.
Yeah, but even in that match, the one from 205, it was a little more entertaining.
Well, they're focused on Daivari, getting
the cheap shots in.
Gallagher. So
yeah.
Not just to showcase Gallagher what I can do,
What I noticed was they didn't do the entire match move for move, but they did like the first half of the match, and they did his like big spots were in the exact same sequence in the exact same part of the match. That's probably what you were picking up on, because he almost hold for the first half of his match did the same match he did on that. So you're probably like, hey, you just had this fucking match.
Yeah. But no, because I made sure to like make Kelsey watch that match, and I finished it. And I was like, oh.
Well, he only did like the first 3 spots, and he didn't do his like going home stuff.
Yeah, and so I would have liked to have seen that. But she did watch. She watched. Like I didn't even prompt her to watch the other cruiserweight match between Swan and Perkins, and she said she loved that match. I was like, if you're digging the cruiserweights, I might need to sit you down one day and we can watch the Cruiserweight Classic.
If you think you like the cruiserweights or you're interested in the cruiserweights, and you haven't watched a classic, you definitely have to watch a classic, because
that's where they really shine.
Yeah, they were given the opportunity to do whatever they wanted to do, and all those people, not only were they given the opportunity to do things that they're not going to and haven't been given the opportunity to do on Raw and 205, but they structured the tournament in a way to make people like stand out like along the way and progress. So if you haven't watched the classic, you're doing yourself a disservice.
So, but after that, we got to see Kevin Owens going up against Sami Zayn. rivalry renewed for one more match at least.
Let's say they're gonna throw that in every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even with the Miz and Ziggler stuff, that was built as the blow off, but eventually those guys are gonna have to wrestle again. It's just you can't keep
everyone recycling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel bad for Zayn, because I want him to succeed, and he has so much trouble getting a win.
I do like when they wrestle each other though, because Owens gives Zayn so much more than anyone else is willing.
Yeah.
Because they're legitimately good friends. He goes out of his way to make sure Zayn gets his shit in.
Yeah.
And not just gets his shit in, like his average shit. He goes out of his way to make it look like Zayn could and should have won. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Make sure he takes care of his buddy.
Definitely.
Let's see. After that, we got to see Rich Swann going up against T.J. Perkins. And, like I said, my wife, she was really digging this matchup. What did you guys think?
It was fun.
Yeah.
Fun enough.
Not too bad. Rich Swann gets the win.
I like all the stuff that Rich Swann does.
T.J. Perkins showing a little bit of heelish attitude in my eyes. Like he or maybe not necessarily heelish, but he was definitely more aggressive.
I think I think the match progressed from showing off and like a friendly one-upsmanship at the start of the match.
Sure.
And then when they finally started with the striking and the throwing of the hands, then that sort of tempers flair. And I think that's more what they were going for in the story than I'm a heel now. It was like, okay. Oh, we're doing this now. Okay, well, fuck you. Then, it was more of that kind of a thing than, I'm a bad guy now.
Yeah, that's what I said. When I kind of took back the heel turn or whatever, but he did show a lot more aggression.
Sure.
In that match, and I was looking forward to that because they've got a few heels in the cruiserweight division, but one more could help. I don't know necessarily if they want to turn TJ, but he could definitely show that type of aggression, and I'd be more okay with it.
Well, I think if you consider, I don't know if you saw 205 this week, but it looks like we're in for more character work from these guys.
Good.
They sort of hinted at that stuff.
Good. We need that.
Not these. Well, yes, these guys in particular, but also
all of the guys.
All of the guys. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's what they need more than anything because we know what they can do in the ring if you've watched the Cruiserweight Classic. Now,
part of what was so resonated with people so much about the Classic is they were the way that they presented them as people and the way that they told the stories were it just resonated with people.
Yeah.
And I don't know that they're going to go about that in the same way.
They showed Mustafa Ali.
Yeah.
Mustafa Ali, yeah. Yeah, let's talk about 205 Live. Unfortunately, I didn't get to catch it, but we got to see the Noam Dar going up against Cedric Alexander.
Who Noam Dar turned heel.
Yeah.
Okay, this speaking of the character work, the stuff that they did with Cedric and Alicia Fox came over here to where she was wishing him good luck, and then Corey Graves was going on and on about how he heard that they're a couple now, and that's a thing, and Noam Dar beat him, and then he sort of dedicated the win to Alicia Fox, so it was sort of this weird thing. Also, Cedric is one of the better guys on the show. He has a tremendous upside, but the characteristics they've given him, even in the class, he was one of the guys they did the most disservice to in the Classic and are still doing a big disservice to now because they keep fucking all this shit about he lost 20 pounds. That's not a character.
Yeah.
You can say he lost 20 pounds to get into show that he has drive and determination to get his goals accomplished, but the guy who lost weight to get in the tournament is not a fucking character.
Yeah.
And guy who's maybe sort of or is dating Alicia Fox is also not a fucking character.
That's true.
So
that's all the things that are going on.
Cedric Alexander is very talented in the ring, and he's one of the better guys. But they are not present. Just his ring work a lot. We've seen that from the way the general audience reacts that just the ring work is not enough to get these guys over. Because we've seen some decent matches in front of an audience who didn't know these people, and they sat on their hands and they didn't know what to make of them. So these guys you're gonna have to present them in a better character sense, and this is a huge disservice to Cedric to be the weight loss guy and the guy who's dating Alicia Fox. He's better than that, and they should do better by him than that.
Yeah, absolutely. and tying that sort of back into Raw, Alicia Fox apparently doesn't like it when Bayley talks to Cedric Alexander.
And it's also dumb that these two, I think we got a question about this, so I will go ahead and answer it now. I think someone asked how we thought about Alicia Fox.
It's from Clark saying, "Hey guys, great stuff from last week. I want to hear your opinions on these 3 topics. Are you okay on how they're using Cedric Alexander as part of a Bayley and Fox storyline?"
Well, I don't think it's just that. I think it's also they're using that as his own story thing. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a disservice to him, like I said, but also it's a disservice to Alicia and Bayley to have like their fight be about like a man or something. It's sort of
fighting
dumb.
Over a boy.
Yeah, I mean, look, Alicia is honestly, I don't see a tremendous upside in Alicia as an in-ring talent. But I do in Bayley, and that's a disservice to her to make her have a stupid storyline about fighting about some dude that Alicia's dating. It's as stupid as the Dar thing with him fighting Cedric or being a dick about some girl that Cedric might be dating. It's just kind of a disservice to talents who deserve better, in my opinion.
Yeah. The second question: how long will Orton be a part of the Wyatt family?
I mean, obviously, I don't know, but if I'm guessing, I'll say WrestleMania. I don't know.
I think they'll
give us some time.
I think it'll set up for a match at Mania, Orton versus Wyatt.
I mean, ballpark Mania, give or take.
Final question, going back to the cruiserweights. How do you feel on TJ Perkins' ramp animation that still has the cruiserweight title while facing the current champ Swan?
Look, is it a little bit lazy that they haven't fixed that?
Yes,
it's a little bit lazy, but it's not something that I'm going to dwell on. What I will dwell on is the way that, like Cedric, they have set TJP up to absolutely fail. They've presented him in the least flattering light possible. Look, he's excellent in the ring. Guy can't talk. When they put him on commentary, he can't fucking keep up. It makes him look bad. Stop putting him on commentary, especially when Austin Aries and Corey Graves are going to fucking dig at him. I get that. Yep. Okay, I get that they're trying to get him to talk to like get himself over, but it makes him look bad because he's not a good talker and he can't handle the banter with them. You know what I mean?
He just has to level up.
And even when, and that's not a character either. Saying 20 years old video game shit that kids today who play video games don't even know, because from when I was a kid playing video games, the same video game tropes that don't even exist anymore, that's not a character either. And he's bad. They keep putting him in these situations where he has to talk and he's bad at talking.
Man, I need an extra life or it's game over.
I think that is much more worthy of harping on than the graphic on his injury. I mean, honestly, I think, is it lazy that they still have the belt on his graphic? Yes, it's lazy. But what's worse is the way they're presenting him, because he is a guy who, if they present it in the right way, we saw in the Classic how he was received then. Mm-hmm. They maximized his positives and they hit his negatives. And there's no reason that Raw can't do that. Yeah,
Clark also goes on to say, I only saw a few episodes of the Cruiserweight Classic, and I think that they should move 205 Live to Full Sail University because the fans really care about the Cruiserweights. In my opinion, they kind of disrespected the Cruiserweights during the first episode, but I think the people in the arena were probably just tired and wanted to rest for the night. So,
it's
and we kind of talked about that a week or two ago, where I think that they should film 205 Live right alongside NXT, have Wednesday night be that night, because they've done, that's where they had the Cruiserweight Classic. That's where they, why not? What's keeping them from doing that?
I get that, but I do think, even though I think they're executing poorly, I think that they're actually are trying to make these guys exposed to a larger audience.
Sure.
And it's hard to do that at Full Sail when only 300 people get in the building. Then yes, those 300 people are there because they know who those guys are and they're there to see those guys. But we've seen the hit or miss rate with people getting called up, like who gets known and who doesn't. It's not 100%. Sure. But I think like having them on Raw, and they're not technically on SmackDown, but they also travel with SmackDown to do that show. They're getting seen by both audiences, and hopefully, eventually, more people are going to catch on to it.
Well, see, the thing is, going into the NXT, some of the guys get called up to the main roster, but those guys are not cruiserweights. So we're not going to see, obviously they'll have a few of the cruiserweights on Raw because Raw's home for the cruiserweight division or whatever. But I think with the history of NXT, because they have gotten so much talent over. I mean, we see it whenever they do an NXT takeover. They're selling out arenas now. So it's not necessarily.
Ooh, I don't know if I 100% agree with that.
Yeah. Well,
I think a lot of those guys come in. No, I don't know. They've gotten some people over in NXT, but a lot of those people have staked their reputation before they got to NXT.
Right. But,
especially the more over people have already got that reputation.
But what I'm saying is that, you're okay having 205 Live be in front of, a half empty or half full arena. Why not just have it at Full Sail where, Full Sail is where they're filming NXT. And when NXT goes on tour, they're selling out arenas. They're, whenever they have their takeovers, they're performing in front of sold out crowds. So the audience is there.
I don't know. I've seen some shots of some shows of some empty fucking NXT house shows. And I've heard that. I was hearing stories of, and I didn't try to get tickets myself, but I heard that there was lots of available tickets for Toronto, and they sort of moved people around to make it look like it was. And they did not flaunt that. We're sold out. There's 20,000 fucking people in here, like they did in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
They did not flaunt it like that. So I don't know that they are. I don't think the NXT is making those numbers they were. I doubt that, and I've seen some stuff to make me believe otherwise. So I don't know. And I get the idea is not that they're okay with having a half full crowd or a small crowd with people leaving. I think the idea is if it catches on, that people are going to fucking stay and see the show. Yeah. And then it's more than the 300 people you can shove in here. If it catches on, then it's the entire audience is going to stay.
Sure.
And look, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Is I think they're doing the right things to get there. I'm saying I think the intention is well, and they're executing poorly.
Mm-hmm. So, let us know in the comments what you think. Would you prefer to see 205 Live take place at Full Sail, or would you prefer to see it in the crowd with Smackdown?
Well, I would prefer to see them at Full Sail, but that's my selfish entertainment because that crowd's going to make the performance hype, and so it's going to be a better performance. But that's not what's best for those guys' careers.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Selfishly, sure, throw them to fucking Full Sail, and I'll watch a kick-ass hour show every week. But
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. You can have them perform in the large crowd audiences through Raw.
We're seeing through our own survey size of our own audience of our show. All these people are saying, I saw an episode or two of the Cruiserweight. I didn't watch the Cruiserweight.
Yeah.
These people aren't watching those fucking shows.
Sure.
So if you want, like I said, for us, if you just want to watch a cool show, then have them. But those guys want to get out of that 300-seat arena and expand their career to where more people I hope what I'm trying to say makes sense.
Yeah, it does. So going back over to 205 Live, Noam Dar defeats Cedric Alexander. Daivari gets his revenge on Jack Gallagher. Anything really from that matchup?
No, they're clearly not clearly, but it seems as though they're pushing to a tiebreaker because they have one apiece now. So
nice. And then the rematch for the Cruiserweight title, Rich Swann versus Brian Kendrick.
It was fine, but it was really about the interference, and I don't know if they're going to go triple threat because they talked up Swann and TJP's friendship as well as the past of TJP and Kendrick, and then the finish was Kendrick got shoved into TJP, and then they all three started fighting each other. Uh-huh. So wait, is that on Raw or on the 205?
That was 205.
Okay.
Yeah.
And,
triple threat.
Yeah. So. Basically, he's kind of sort of distracted him so Swann can retain, and then they all three brawled afterwards. So I don't know if it's going to be triple threat or they're just setting up for TJP to feud with Kendrick now that he's lost the rematch. I'm unclear.
Yeah, probably a triple threat if I had to guess. But going back into Raw, we had the Bayley Alicia Fox matchup.
We took a detour, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Detourception. Bayley got the win. Mark Henry ducked a clothesline and delivered the world's strongest slam to Titus O'Neil.
He got inducted to the Hall of Pain.
That's right.
That was just to get the hometown boy or home state boy over in front of the crowd. Which I'm fine with.
Both of them former guests on the WNS podcast, so go to our YouTube channel and listen to that episode.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Yep. So true dat.
And then another member another guest on the WNS podcast, Roman Reigns, going up against Chris Jericho. Any thoughts on this matchup? It was for the United States title, thanks to Kevin Owens.
I don't feel like I have a ton to say about it.
Yeah. Okay. We already talked about Rusev and Enzo in their hotel room brawl.
Well, yeah, I was about to say it ended up where Lana and
she deep-pantsed him.
Yeah, they tricked Enzo. Shame on Enzo.
I will say this. The brawl in the hotel room did look particularly nasty. Like the way that Enzo ragdolled and the way Rusev laid his shots in, it felt like a real fight. I don't know. I enjoyed that aspect
Say
of
something in Russian, and he was like, what does that mean? He's like, you're a fool.
I will give him credit a little bit, because at least Enzo at one point did say, hey, this is a mistake. I shouldn't be here. So they at least tried to save his character a little bit by saying, okay, this is wrong. I shouldn't be here right now. I got to go.
I mean, I don't think his character is not guy who would just hook up with an attractive woman no matter what. I think that's his character. Good guy or bad guy, Enzo's character is he will hook up with with women he finds attractive, right? That is not a character.
Ric Flair gave him his limo.
Yeah.
Kind of passed the torch on that one.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's in character for Enzo. That's how I read it.
But at least he showed a bit of remorse, saying, hey, this isn't right. I'm going to go. This doesn't feel right. I should go. This is wrong.
I don't want to get beat up.
We got to see the club, Gallows and Anderson, going up against Cesaro and Sheamus, with the winner going on to face the New Day, but it ends up ending in a disqualification.
Triple threat.
And so now we have a triple threat tag match for the tag team championships to determine if the New Day will break the demolition record of longest title reign.
Is it next week, or do they have to get through the pay-per-view?
I think if they beat next week, then
they'll lose it at the pay-per-view. Probably.
See, I for whatever reason, I feel like they're going to lose it here.
I don't get. To me, I can't.
I can see Cesaro or Sheamus pinning Gallows or Anderson to win the titles, and the New Day are like, "No, we were right there," and that forces them to turn heel against Cesaro and Sheamus. And you're like,
but if you weren't going to have them break the record, them having the belts has gotten so still that it would be the gag of like yanking the rug out from underneath them like the week of or something is just seems too dumb to do. I don't know why you would do that.
Just so they can be like, no, we have to start all over again. I don't know. Just for whatever reason.
If it was a shorter reign, like if the record was much shorter, then I could see them doing that. But I can't see them doing that at this point.
I just don't know.
Like
there's just something.
So stupid.
There's just something there in the back of my head that's like, maybe they'll do that.
It would. You know what? It would actually infuriate me if that happened.
All right. So if we were watching Monday,
it's so nonsensical to do that. I would actually be pissed off if that happened.
Okay. So if for whatever reason, lightning does strike, and New Day lose the tag titles, I should probably not call or text you as soon as that match concludes.
I'm not a psychopath. I'm not going to take it out on you. I'm just going to be like,
fuck you, Daniel. You jinxed them.
This is really stupid. I'm just going to be mad because it's so stupid to do that,
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. We'll find out what happens on Monday. And then that was pretty much the main event, but it carried over to Charlotte's public apology to dear old dad, which leads to her, saying, you're a son of a bitch. I'm your daughter, not Sasha. How dare you? Slap to the face. What do the five fingers say to the face? Slap. I don't know. What did you guys think about this?
It works for me. It works enough for me. I mean, she is the uber heel of the women's division, so...
Or they go next with Ric Flair.
Well, supposedly he's back with the company.
Yeah. He'll be in Sasha's corner or something for her next match.
He's gonna screw Sasha over.
Maybe. Yeah, at Roadblock, it's gonna be Sasha versus Charlotte for the women's title, And since Charlotte is undefeated at pay-per-views, she's going to win. Again.
Well, they're doing the Iron Women's match.
That is true. That's something to look forward to. What was I going to say? Oh, well. Not important enough, I guess.
I don't know what you were going to say.
I don't remember. Not important enough. But yeah, Charlotte ends up slapping Ric Flair. Sasha Banks comes out, and Charlotte makes quick work. Oh, yeah, now I remember what I was going to say. They kept showing the clip of Charlotte saying, goodbye, get out of my ring, I don't need you anymore. I was listening to that, and then you listen to how she cuts a promo now. She's improved quite a bit.
She has.
That's what I was going to do. I was going to give her some credit for that. She's definitely improved her mic skills over the past, I guess, 6 months now. 3 to 6 months, however long it's been. So I just wanted to make sure it was recognized. That pretty much does it for Raw. Hot Topics.
Has it been 6 months?
However long it's been.
Okay.
I don't know if it's been 6 months.
5 months, 6 months. They showed it so many times. I don't know. Hot Topics for those of you who are fans of the Elimination Chamber. And I know, Doug, we talked about this last week about your fondness for the Roadblock and the Fast Lane. It looks like Fast Lane is going to be replaced with the Elimination Chamber. It's going to be taking place between...
Come back.
Kudos.
Yeah, it's coming back.
Excited about that.
It's going to be taking place between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. Aw. Tyler, I know you were fond of the Fastlane name, as you said in last week's episode.
I want bad blood.
You were really into Fastlane.
You were.
Was I?
You were.
Yeah, sure.
You were
I'll
all
go
into
with
it. Yeah.
I want bad blood.
Yeah. Okay.
I like that we just talked him into
It's like I was? Yeah.
You were really into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about Ric Flair being brought back to the WWE. Another person who might be coming back, Mickie James. She was apparently offered a contract with the WWE.
Oh.
So good for her.
They're also going to offer Gilbert a contract.
Nope, not Gilbert, but another person who's set to return in WWE in 2017, Tajiri.
Oh, okay.
So he's going to be coming back.
I think Karina is going to the Performance Center too.
The trainer.
Yeah, I heard about that too. He had like a farewell matchup or something like that.
I didn't see Final Battle, but I think he was on the show.
Oh, nice.
So the Gobbledygooker's coming back.
No. Speaking of Final Battle, former guest of the show, Kyle O'Reilly, defeats former guest of the show, Adam Cole, to win the ROH championship.
I didn't see that coming. I thought Adam Cole was going to retain.
Yeah. So a lot of speculation has surfaced because of that matchup that Adam Cole might be WWE bound. One, since I haven't been following Ring of Honor, Doug, what
I'm behind, brother.
Okay.
Behind.
I just didn't know if you happen to have heard anything.
Adam Cole, baby.
There has been speculation for a while that come December we're in December now, but there was going to be a lot of shakeups with the Ring of Honor roster, a lot of people leaving. Not all for WWE, but a lot of people leaving in general. We've already seen stuff like ACH getting freed of his deal or whatever, and War Machine working a lot of New Japan and stuff. So it would not shock me. The word has always been that they were interested in Cole and that he had
it.
That's not what I was gonna say, but he had done well enough in like the tryouts that they were interested. Or I just don't know if it was a timing thing or if they wanted him to work on this or that. But
also signed Cheeseburger.
I like cheeseburger.
Signed Cheeseburger.
I like bacon cheeseburger.
That's not a person.
I didn't say anything about a person. I was just letting you know I like bacon cheeseburgers. They are delicious.
Okay.
Yeah. Other bit of Hot Topic news. Lita apparently no longer part of the WWE, which is kind of weird. Like people said that she wasn't part of the Raw or SmackDown pre-show, and then she sent out a tweet, or Jim Ross sent out a tweet saying, I haven't heard anything, and she pretty much confirmed it that she's no longer with the WWE.
Lawler was not there either.
Yeah, they removed Lawler and Lita, and then the tweet from Lita or JR came out and said that Lita's no longer with the company. So that kind of sucks, but
it sucks for her, but she wasn't someone who was adding a lot to the show.
Yeah. She's a Hall of Famer, though.
Hey, man, I don't mean to disrespect her. I'm just, in my honest opinion, she was not a huge addition to the show.
Yeah.
So while it sucks for her personally, I can't mourn what I didn't feel like was a loss to the show.
Yeah. Like maybe she can go down to the performance center or something, help out all the trainees.
Sure, I hope she does whatever the fuck she wants to do and is happy about it.
Mm-hmm. So, final bit of Hot Topic news. John Cena is going to be hosting Saturday Night Live this week. So make sure you set your DVRs. I
haven't watched Saturday Night Live in its entirety in years.
Yeah. Kelsey's really gotten into it, especially over the whole presidential debate, because they were doing, all the mocking and stuff like that. So she really started getting back into it. And so I'll probably end up watching this one.
The last episode I watched was the Dave Chappelle one.
That was
pretty good.
The most interested I've been in years was when Chappelle was on there. And even then I didn't watch it. I just saw his opening monologue, and then I saw the skit that he did with
Walking Dead.
No, okay, I saw that one too, but there's also the one where him and I forget who the other person is watching like the
Chris Rock.
Him and Chris Rock are watching like the
election.
I can't believe this. Really?
Yeah.
Y'all can't believe this?
Yeah, that was good too.
So
I just saw those three things. And that's the most interested I've been in years.
The Halloween episode with Tom Hanks, that was pretty funny.
I saw that skit, but not anything else.
That whole episode was pretty good. And I'm right there with you. I haven't watched Saturday Night Live in such a long time. I watched the full episode, and it was pretty hilarious.
I know the last time they did it with The Rock when he was on there, and he was like, he did a skit when he was a wrestler with Bobby Monahan and stuff like that. And that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole Chappelle thing just makes me miss Chappelle show. Chappelle's show was so fucking good.
I used to have the whole series on DVD, and for whatever reason, I sold it or traded it or something.
God damn, that was a good show.
Yeah. Part of me wants to go back and find it somewhere, go to Walmart or something. Anyway, so time to go to the Q&A portion of the show. Your questions, our answers. First and only question coming to us now from Victor. Saying, nice outro you had playing. I dig it. After watching some recent shows with my buddies, I'm curious, what are your opinions on the concept of finishing moves? Do they have to be the way most matches end? Should different moves be used to end matches, or just use their signature one? How could a well-known performer debut a new skill? Can people use each other's finishers more often? And, of course, anything else y'all can think of. Thanks again for your great shows. And nice try, Tyler.
Nice try. What is he? Nice
he typed poop.
When?
A well-known poop performer.
I did that. Yeah, I did that.
I am into when guys have multiple finishers. That's what I enjoy. And I even like Dragon Gate does this thing where they tier their finishers to where this is this is a first level finisher and it will finish most guys, but sometimes when I face this guy I've got to go up to the second level finisher, and then there's and then
this one is Super Saiyan 3.
That's a cool concept. I like that.
Yeah, I mean there's and then there are finishers, there are moves specifically designed to counter other opponents and stuff like that. So I think what I like to see is multiple finishers that are kept protected. I think they should have I know you're sort of I don't know if you're just sort of joking around, not generally being dismissive of the concept, but I do like the idea of this is sort of my first level finisher.
Yeah.
And then I have something that I really keep protected. And then, your most protected move should not be something that people kick out of hardly ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
That should be
End all be all.
That's in WrestleMania, maybe someone kicks out of that in the main event of WrestleMania, and it's a huge fucking deal if someone gets out of this move. I think that they should be better protected in general, and I think they should be tiered in that way. And I do like the really intricate storytelling of developing moves to counter a specific skill of an opponent that they find they need to have an edge over. So I want more storytelling that involve the finishers and less of let's kick out of this shit a couple of times a match.
Yeah. And it is kind of one of those things where it's all right, he's hit the move 3 times. If he doesn't kick, if he kicks out of this one, it's just going to be it. So, I like that. The tiered level stuff. That's pretty cool. So, so that's pretty much going to do it for us this week. Make sure to submit your questions on our YouTube channel, WNS Video, also our Facebook page, WNS Podcast. Check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com, WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook. And if you so desire, subscribe to our show on iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast.
We're on Stitcher, Beyond Pod, Player.fm, Satchel. Just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
Follow the podcast on Twitter at WNS Podcast. Daniel's at WNS_Daniel. Tyler's at Tyler_Aber.
There you go. For the podcast crew, I am Daniel Herron.
Tyler Aber.
Doug.
And we will catch you all next week.
Choo choo, Playboy.